Terminator Salvation is a 2009 film. It was directed by Mick G. And the plot is, it's the year 2018. Judgment Day has happened. At the end of the third film, we saw the nuclear bomb go off and it leveled most of the world. So here you see that future that we've heard about, that's been talked about for so long. You see how it's almost a wasteland. We see John Connor, this time played by Christian Bale. He is leading the resistance. And not only that, he is looking for Kyle Reese. And with the help of an unlikely ally, he tries to stop Skynet once and for all. Now, what I think of Terminator Salvation is, this might come at a bit of surprise because I know a whole lot of people who hate this movie, who rant on this movie, who shit on this movie, who say that it's the worst Terminator film ever. Me personally though, I enjoy this film. I do. First, I want to talk about Christian Bale being cast as John Connor because Christian Bale is one of my favorite actors, so I love him in this role. Just the level of intensity that he brings to it, how serious he takes any film that he does, even a Terminator film. I feel like he brings the legitimacy up a little bit for this character. The moments where he's listening to his mother's tapes, when Sarah Connor made those tapes in the first movie to try to get him ready and warn him about certain stuff. And also seeing him in the early stages trying to lead the resistance because he is so new to this. He still is trying to figure everything out. Yeah, you do have a couple of scenes where he's kind of using the Batman voice. His voice is dark and raspy and gritty. Some people don't like that. I don't mind it though. Like I said, it brings up that intensity level to it. And again, I don't mind it. I do, however, think that we don't spend enough time with Christian Bale in this film. I mean, I know we've had John Connor as the main character before, but there were a lot of moments in the film where I felt like, wow, we haven't seen John Connor for a good amount of time. Bryce Dallas Howard plays Kate Brewster, and I really like Bryce Dallas Howard. I love that she was cast as this character because the third film built her up to be this major, important character in the future. However, she was pregnant when she was shooting this film, so they had to almost write her role down. And she doesn't play a big role in this film at all. She's kind of just there. And that sucks because I would have liked to have seen her do more as this character. But I guess, what can you do? Anton Yelchin plays Kyle Reese. And I really like this casting as well because Anton Yelchin, he looks the part. And the many times where they call back, they reference a lot of the quotes from the first film. And seeing how important he is to this story and Christian Bale trying to find him throughout this movie. The fact that John Connor meets his father at such a different age is so weird. So I like that moment. We also get Common, random, but he's good in the movie. And Moon Bloodgood plays Blair Williams. And her character comes into contact with Marcus Wright, and she becomes very close to him. Marcus Wright is played by Sam Worthington, and Sam Worthington in many ways is more of the main character in this film than anyone else. He in fact is a Terminator himself, that he was like the first experimented form and version of a Terminator. His body was used for parts and he was put together and he has no memory of that. Now, I find that interesting, and seeing especially John Connor not trust him so much and how they instantly become enemies, but then he has to grow to trust him, or at least have him help to try to save Kyle Reese. So all that I liked. I guess the problem with that though is, I remember when the trailer for this movie came out, they spoiled that. They show Sam Worthington so many times as a Terminator that the way how it's played in this movie, it's supposed to be a big dramatic reveal. And it's just another reason why trailers for movies ruin moments like that. Like I said, I would have liked to have seen a little bit more of John Connor here, but I get what the story was doing. It was having Sam Worthington as a Terminator have to step up, and the fact that he had a human heart that separated him from any other robot that we've ever seen, and the sacrifices that he makes throughout the film. Sam Worthington, I've always been back and forth with on how I thought of him as an actor, because there's some movies where I see him and I think he's sort of wooden or doesn't give enough emotion, but here he's playing a robot, so it makes sense. And to be honest, he had a lot more emotion than I thought he would give in this film. Seeing the post-apocalyptic future, I enjoyed that. I think it was a breath of fresh air, just because every Terminator film up until this point has had the same plot, where a robot is sent back in time to stop the future. The fact that we finally got a Terminator film that shows that future. Yeah, it's not the same exact future that we've talked about, because that point hasn't happened yet, but we're getting closer and closer. And I respect the movie for at least attempting to show that future. And also seeing the different Terminators, the different forms of Terminators, and the different designs of them. How some of them, like even the big huge one that takes people to bring in the Skynet. I know some people, their biggest complaint is that it just doesn't feel like a Terminator film. And a big reason for that, I'm sure, is because there's no Arnold Schwarzenegger. And trust me, I understand that. I love Arnold as an actor. And this movie is missing a little bit of that charm and just the Arnold presence. You do miss it. You do. But I love that the film was able to have that awesome cameo when it's a CGI Arnold, but the fact that they did that he shows up, I love that moment. I remember seeing it in the theater and I cheered. I was like, fucking A. Clearly, I enjoy this movie a lot more than anyone else I know does. And that's unfortunate, because I understand some of other people's complaints. I do, but I respected what this movie was trying to do. I respected the differency that they were doing and that they were bringing the story forward. So guys, let me know in the comments below, what do you think of Terminator Salvation? Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. Later!